back to the Neil Haley show and end of year. When I just saw this topic on my table and I'm going to talk about it, I'm like, no, I really honestly like 2021 better than 2020. So I will absolutely say 2021 has been better than 2020. And I hope 2022 is even better. And I hope more and more I can see real people, not Zoom all day long, except when I'm doing a show because there's no purpose at all. But I'm excited to welcome to the program my guest, Lynne Roe. And we're going to talk about end of year strategic planning. And see, what confuses me when I hear this topic, Lynne, is end of year. Whoa, everyone's starting to get these New Year's resolutions, coming up with next year's plan. End of year.
It's true.
Why this topic right now? I'm sure because a lot of people aren't strategic planners short term. That's probably where you're leading us, right?
Well, it's true that in most corporations, big corporations, and even small businesses, you get out there and you go through the whole year, and then you look at your plan at the end of the year and you say, oh shoot, I didn't do this and I didn't do this and I didn't do that. And half the time you can complete all of it in one quarter. So if you start right at the end of the year, it's right now the very beginning of October, you've still got 3 months to complete what you had planned to do throughout the year.
That's good, but I don't want to know, because I guess there's a good time to say this, right? This is considered quarter four, right? Q4 started on October 1st. Again,
Yeah, that's right.
World, I'm a business owner, but I never look at Qs. But oh my gosh, that's got to put a lot of pressure on people with COVID and Q4, right? Especially if you're in the business world and like sales or certain things like that, and that Q3's numbers weren't what was expected. So is this a lot of it saying don't give up, don't go? A lot of people, by the time they get to mid-November, or say Q4 is over, let's move on, and that's the wrong thing to do.
Well, actually, right now, very beginning of Q4, you can be planning for tremendous sales towards the end of the year, right? There's all the holidays coming up. Oh, yeah. And no matter what your business is, you can put some kind of a holiday celebration in there into your plans. You still have 3 months in which to make your plan. And if you start now and you make some plans to do it, this is the other thing that happens with people all the time. They say, okay, we're gonna do this. We'll just go do it. Instead of just stopping for a minute and saying, okay, let's plan this out first.
Yes.
It doesn't have to take a long time to plan it out. You can plan these things out very often within an hour, a couple of hours, and then you can have specific action plans to really make it happen. Rather than say, oh yeah, I guess I better do this, and then 3 weeks later say, oh yeah, and I forgot to do that to go along with it, and another week goes by, and then you think, oh wait, I should have done that piece too. But if you really figured it out in the beginning, when you first started to go after whatever the plans were for the end of the year, then you'd say, okay, I've got to do this week, this week, this week, and you'll have a great plan, and you'll make your plan for the year.
How do you hold yourself accountable? Because I've remembered at times where I've done 90-day goals, 30-day goals, and it's got thrown off and never happens. Something else happens that you least expect. I'll talk about one of them. Is when I started the year in 2021, I didn't think Clubhouse was going to be here, and Clubhouse ended up really becoming a part of my life for the first 5 months of 2021. Mm-hmm. So I kind of switched my direction, but limited and decreased it, and lost a lot of the focus of what I wanted to accomplish based on some new shiny object. It was worthwhile, don't get me wrong, but how do you make sure that you can find that new shiny object that you don't expect to happen in Q4 and still stay focused on what you're going to sit down and have a plan in action right now on October 12th? We're recording this, or sometime this week, so that we finish off the year and say, oh my gosh, we missed out.
Yeah. So I always recommend having a team of experts, your own team. So masterminds make a huge difference. A true mastermind where your team, your other business owners, part of your mastermind, are on board with you and there to support you, because what they do is, if you've got a mastermind to help you, they'll say to you, okay, let's think this through before you actually start taking action. So I strongly recommend that in absence of a team, a mastermind team, at least an accountability partner, somebody to stop you that says, okay, plan it out before you do it, and then go take off. Because that's the other piece. You can make the plan, but you have to take action on it, right? So So make your plan, your plan quickly if you have to, especially at this time of year, you have to make it quickly. But then take action right away. Don't wait. You've got to get moving because you're already at the end of the year.
Absolutely. Wow. And so take action. So I'm going to ask you, you're the expert. If I'm going to sit down now, a lot of things have thrown me off in 2021, but I have a couple more things on the to-do list, and I want to kill it in quarter 4 for sales all the way up till I hate these points. Oh, you can't get a sale on December 20th, even if you're a service like myself. No, I'm not going to have that, because when we put that mindset that we're not, it's going to happen because we're manifesting it. So the point I'm going to make right now is, after I knock out this list, how can I create a sales plan to really hit the goals I want to hit? What strategies and goals, and how do I set it up to make it work?
So the best thing to do is to have a daily activity that you do every single day that moves you towards that needle. So it could be, I sit down and make 20 phone calls every day to potential clients or to friends or to whoever, right? It becomes a habit. Put that habit in place and something you worked on every single day as you're moving forward. That's the best way to make a difference. The other thing is, don't sit back and say, oh, it's too late. Just as you said, right? It's not too late.
So when you get a no at the end of the year, you say, okay, everyone's going to think that way. No. If you have something so special, they're not going to wait till the calendar changes to 2022. And they're the wrong client anyways to look at.
Yeah. And a lot of times people at the end of the year are thinking, okay, I need to get set up for the next year. So let me make that sale. Let me get that in place now, so I don't have to think about that in the beginning of January. I'm just going to do it now. So you can't assume that people are going to say no because it's the end of the year.
See, and I learned that now in 2021, I won't make that mistake. All right. So, but I had my first biggest sales before Labor Day, where I thought Labor Day is the worst decision-making time. And I had a unbelievable week right before Labor Day. So yeah, I did. It's manifesting. If you choose that you're manifesting, it's not going to happen. Forget it. All right. So based on that, a daily activity every day to make sure you're reaching that goal. So you can't so you can't just say, okay, based on Q4, I want these goals and strategies I'm implementing, and forget about everything else in the operations of your business, or you're going to miss out then, right? Because you're going to spend too much time in the unknown versus what's happening now. So right. When you're talking about strategic planning, I'm bringing it up in sales just because that's what I'm thinking. If I was working with an expert like you, is that the kind of people you're working with that are creating those strategies and goals for each year? Is it mostly sales, the biggest thing that you hear all the time when you're working with clients?
So I'm a business coach, so I work with lots of small business owners. And so, yes, sales is critical for them, but also getting whatever procedures are in place so that they can manage those sales is critical too.
Right.
The operations side is critical as well. And sometimes that's the end of the year goal, right? I've got to get all my operations put in place so that when I start in January with the next, whatever my next sales process is in January, I want to know that it's all going to run smoothly. So whatever's going on in the end of this quarter, it's the idea is to work on it every single day and make progress towards whatever your goal is, whether it's a process goal, whether it's a sales goal, whatever your goal is. Could be a goal for the team to get the whole team together, right? Get the team on board, right?
But as
whatever your goal is, work on it a little bit every day so you've got continuous motion.
Because so it's based on a goal. How many goals do you think a business, especially if you're working with small business owners, should they set for themselves? Are too many goals? Is that just like too big of a list?
Too many goals is too big of a list, definitely. You might have a sales goal, you might have an operations goal, you might have a team goal. And it could be kind of an overall goal, and there's some subcategories underneath it. But don't try to do too much at once. It's just, you lose focus.
Awesome. Well,
So.
Lynne, where's the best place we can find information on you? I could talk about hours about business goals and things like that, and I would want to chat with you just to pick your brain. But I'm sure you worked with a lot of small business owners or different people that utilize Clubhouse too much in 2021. So you see how we all evaluate that next shiny opportunity. Can you tell me, if we're sitting here last year, and I've interviewed some people that are on this same stage this year that were last year, do you know what's going to be the next big thing? Clubhouse was in November. If I would have been in November 1st and I started, who knows where I could be now? Because there's some people really skyrocketed based on first to the party. Do you see? Do we have
I think.
Do we have a? Do we have a
Prediction here? Yeah, I do. I think there's going to be a lot of growth in these hybrid kinds of things where you do a little bit on time online and you do some of it also in person. Somehow, I think lots of things are going to grow like that. I think networking's going to grow that way. I think events are going to grow that way. I think a lot of things are going to find ways to combine together both the in-person and the online.
I'm so happy because again, I could go to in person because now with my connections, more and more you'll be seeing me not in a virtual stage, but on a real stage, in a real arena, interviewing people live in person. So that is exciting. And I'm glad you brought that up. The hybrid prediction. I love that prediction. I'm gonna have to bring that up on Clubhouse. And if you're on Clubhouse, make sure you follow me as well on Clubhouse's all social media platforms. And I will do the same. But where can we connect with you? Where can we go?
You can go to lsrconsultants.com.
You're fabulous. And again, this is the big thing. Everyone needs a business coach. If you don't have a business coach, go and get one. Why? Because if you really know it all, I guarantee the greatest high level success business people hire business coaches.
You don't know everything.
You
need someone with a different perspective to look at it, whatever your business is.
Exactly. Thanks again, Lynne. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. You're listening and watching the Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.